Working on a client file the other day, and it was kind of weird. I felt like the client could hear or see that I was working on his file. It's kind of weird. It's all in a lot of it's probably in my head, but not at Hush Blackwell. I don't work at Hush Blackwell. But I was working on a client file. I was just organizing it, but I looked through his military paperwork, and it showed he was in the Navy, but he also was on an Air Force base, a Naval Academy, and somewhere else. There's 3 different locations, and they weren't all the same branch of military for the U.S. But he said his last role, in my head, he said to me, he said, "I'm so glad that you saw this." And I don't know how I hear some things and some things I don't hear, and that's why I don't know if it's other people talking for him. I don't hear voices. It's just thoughts that go through my head. And sometimes people come through real strong. Like this guy was really excited, and he said, "I am so glad you saw this." And I was like, he said that third one was underground. So it's still with the U.S. Navy. But his third station, the third place he was stationed was actually underground. And he was terrified. He said he spent his whole remainder of his life, which is what I think happens to a lot of the vets, is they get taken underground and forced to do some things. And I don't know who forces them underground or who stations them there. I don't know anything behind it, but it's something we should talk to our military about and our vets. But the third place he was stationed was underground. And he started off with the U.S. Navy and ended up underground for one of his stations. And so people are aware of this. And I don't know if these assholes, the devils, are stealing entire, platoons or whatever they're called. But he was forced underground, and since he's gotten out, he has been terrified that he's going to go to hell for the things that he knows and the things that he hasn't been able to do anything about. And I won't say the things that he did, but the things that he saw and his knowledge of it and the fact that it's still going on and he was not able to stop it. And he's older now. But when him and I were talking, other people piped up and said, "Whoa, we have felt the same way other vets." And so this client was like, "I just need you to know, I feel peace because with heaven," I said, you need to not worry about it, that you're a good heart." And so he said, "I feel peace." And he said, "Would you understand that for the last, I don't know, 30, 40, at least 40 years, I've been terrified I'm going to hell because I haven't been able to help this like I should have." And a lot of our vets feel the same way. I think a lot of vets have been pulled down there. And a lot of our vets are really fucked up about the fact that this is allowed to talk about it. They're not allowed to, they're like, "or we'll kill you" type shit. And that's what's wrong with our vets and taking care of people that have fought wars for us, for our freedom. We're actually fucking them up. And I don't know which portion, where they get fucked up. It's definitely going under, but who's doing that? Are we okaying that? Are we approving that? Does everybody know that that's happening? Because we don't know that that our Air Force and Navy and all that shit is going to, Army is going down there to fight. The average person doesn't know that, but we should. If our kids are going in the military and shit, we should know the locations, not because you're like, "I need to know this investigation," but that we need to even know that those locations exist in case something happens to them while they're there. Send mail. We need to be able, we should know that they're going under. And if they're getting paid with U.S. government dollars and going down to fight this, to do what? I don't know. I didn't get that far. But it's something that we need to make open for vets. They need to have open airwaves to talk about this shit and heal from it and not be afraid they're going to hell for it. and understanding that it's all worked for a greater power and a greater purpose, and to find peace and to help those people, and that they're not lost, because I'm sure they have a lot of nightmares about what they've seen, and that these people are just lost, like, to the world, and it's like seeing an alien. If pilots report seeing a UFO, they get put in the loony bin. Well, if you saw a UFO, you should be able to say it. But here in the United States, he said, no, if you do that, they will put you in the loony bin, and they'll take away your pilot license. You can't fly anymore. And so it's really kind of crazy that we need to open up communication with our vets, because there actually is military down there that are sent from up here. And there's a lot of them that are, or I'll say all of them, are threatened with their lives if they speak on it. And I mean, some probably go bad down there and probably dig what they're doing, and don't make the right moves or make the right choices. And those are not the ones that are worried about it, or being threatened with their lives. But the ones that are being threatened with their lives, we need to take care of them. And that's why they don't get good medical care. I know my friend, her husband got some